Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky194 and appreciate you taking the time to visit and check out my video. And we're here at Monza with the Honda NSX EVO, and I had a request to see if I could get the car to run low 48s here at Monza, which is, at least for me, that's pretty fast for me. But and of course he didn't really say in qualifying or race setup or something, so I really wasn't sure how he did it. So I'm just going to do both. So I got a qualifying setup here, and then of course after we get done with this, I'll go over and show the race setup. So we're just going to make one lap here, and then we'll go over the setup. So let's jump in the car. And this was by far from a perfect lap, so there's definitely more in it. It wasn't too bad there. I think it was Lesmo 2 is where I messed up Lesmo 2. Could have done a little better through there, but it wasn't real bad. Alright through here. I messed this up from this turn. Just hit the dirt a little bit right there. I probably lost a tenth right there. That was a 147.90. So, I mean, for me, that's a really good time. And, but of course, like I said, I could have easily been a 70 or 80. So, 47, 80 or 70 something. So, I mean, a couple of teeny little things here and there, but easily could have dropped some more time. But still, it's solid. Just hitting your marks and just trying to maximize every little piece you can. So, let's go over the setup. Got 26.2 left front, 25.8 left rear, 27.2 right front, and 26.6 right rear. The toe is negative 0.03 with the camber at negative 3.2 on the left front and negative 3.4 on the right front with the caster at 13. The toe on the rear is 0.05 with the camber at negative 2.7 on the left and negative 2.8 on the right. Electronics are 1, 3, and 1. Fuel, I had 16 liters. Of course, number 1 brake pad. Of course, it doesn't really make much difference on the tire wear too much, but it's really not that bad, to be honest. Mechanical, got 6 on the anti-roll bar, 54 on the brake bias. Steering ratio is turned all the way down. Springs are 169,000 in the front with a 900 bump stop rate and a 1 bump stop range on the left and a 4 bump stop range on the right. The springs on the rear are 160,000 with a bump stop rate of 600 and a bump stop range of 20 on the left rear and 35 on the right rear. Anti-roll bar is 4 and the preload on the diff is 40. Shocks are 19, 14, 25, and 22 on the front and 17, 15, 20, and 22 on the rear. Aero, I got 55 in the front with 60 in the rear with a 2 rear wing and a 2 and a 2 in the brake ducts, and the front aero variation is a 3.7 to the positive. So of course, you know, my temperatures are in the mid 20s and no wind. So you know, so your tire temperature should be, you know, around that. You'd have to adjust the brake ducts and things accordingly, but it's good for 2 to 3 laps. You can make should be at least 3. Yeah, I'm thinking it should be at least 3 laps. You know, the one out lap, and I think you can make actually 3 fast laps, 2 to 3. So that gives you plenty of time to get it set up right, to get it, you know, for traffic or whatever. So you know, and that's still, you know, like I said, 16 liters, so you got enough fuel to do those. So again, you know, of course, I'll put this, of course, a link of this in the description, and of course the link of the race setup. So of course, now I'll show the race setup. We'll go over a couple laps and go over that setup. We're back here at Misano, and I just got done doing the hot stint with the Honda NSX EVO GT3 car. So we're just going to go ahead and do a couple laps here really quick, and then I'll go over the setup for the race setup for this car. So let's get this going. So behind the car, different view. We were in car there on the qualifying setup. Of course, I had 80 liters, and I couldn't even come close to running what he ran. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that was qualifying or race, but this is the best I could do with it. The last lap was a 149.15. This is the third lap. Kind of bogs a little bit through that first Lesmo, I think it is. I mean, that's just the gear ratio that you're in. So, of course, then you get the turbo hit. I thought it did really well. That was a 148.80. That was my fast lap. As you can see, it was only like 1 mile an hour difference down the straightaway. Still pretty low downforce. Goes over the bumps, pretty well. No complaints. And that was a 148.82. So, pretty close lap times. But yeah, you can see, he does 170, which was equal to what I did with the Aston Martin and its race setup. Plus, I think, like I said, I think when I qualifying, I think I did 171, I think. Something like that. Not much more than a mile-an-hour difference. So, just weight. You got 80 liters of fuel. So, weight makes fuel makes a big difference. So, let's go over the setup. Let's show the timetables. There you go. If this was right here, I would have been down in the 60, about a 70 or a 60 something. So that's almost not quite 2/10. So I would have been like probably a 48.65 or something like that if that would have been right there. So again, it's the performance is there. Some of it's me just probably getting a little tired, and also just not driving it a lot as far as the Honda. But some of it's just a little inconsistent. Couple mistakes here and there, nothing real major. Near the end, it started just losing it a little bit, but some of it were my mistakes also, because I was really trying to push really hard. As you see, I ran a 49.09 right there, 49.13, 49.21, 49.09, and then these two, I just kind of probably just overdid it and pushed it too hard, and just takes one mess up, and that's all it takes, and you lose almost a half a second. So, but I still think the car was very consistent for me driving it. A lot more consistent than me. So let's look at the setup. On the race setup, you got 26 left front, 25.7 left rear, 27.1 right front, and 26.6 right rear. The toe is negative 0.05 in the front with the camber at negative 3.2 left front, negative 3.4 right front with the caster at 13. And the toe on the rear is 0.05 with the camber at negative 2.6 on the left rear and negative 2.7 on the right rear. Electronics are 2, 4, and 2. Of course, fuel, I had 80 liters. And like I said, I did multiple stints, which things I tried to do little adjustments here and there. I had light graining on the left front, moderate on the right front, which is not a major deal. It was still running decent times at the end. It's about there. It's a little more, but I was really pushing the rear brake near the end. Put this back to 1. Mechanical, got 6 on the anti-roll bar, 56 on the brake bias, which I did go down to 55. Steering ratio all the way down. Springs are 160,000 all the way around, which I did try some different combinations with that. Bump stop rate was 900 in the front with a 1 bump stop range on the left front and 5 on the right front. And on the rear, the springs are 160, the bump stop rate is 600 on the rear, with the bump stop range at 15 on the left rear and 20 on the right rear. Anti-roll bar is 4, and the preload on the diff is 50. Shocks are 19, 14, 27, and 25 on the front, and 18, 15, 20, and 22 on the rear. Aero got 55 in the front, 63 in the rear with a 3 rear wing, and a 2 and a 3 in the brake ducts. So a lot of these are the same. A lot of stuff is still the same. Just small little adjustments here and there, trying to get it to, to make up for some of the fuel, weight in the fuel and things like that. The front air variation is 3.8 to the positive. So again, I will put, the both links. Of course, this has this, and then the other one will have a Q next to the 6 point. I think it's 1 or whatever, but it'll say Q next to that, and that stands for qualifying. And of course, I ran my personal best with that. So with the qualifying setup, even in making a few mistakes. So it definitely has a fast and has some really good performance there. And I sure hope you enjoy it, and I hope it works good for you. And like I said, I did the best I could with it for right now. And I hope you give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I sure hope you come back and visit again really soon. Y'all take care. See ya.